Hello, everyone. Good evening. Can you believe it's Monday already? Yikes. Can you believe it's March 10th already? Double yikes. Give everybody a second to come in. Then we'll talk about all the fun we have planned for tonight. Hello, everyone. We have lovely things. We have a bundle with brand new stuff. I never get to play with new stuff. I'm so excited. Hi, Glinda. We're going to play with a bunch of new products that just got onto the website March 1st, so 10 days ago. Hi, Carol. How are you? Hello to everyone coming in. Hey, Margie. Hi, Karen. How is everyone doing tonight? Oh, I hope you have all had a lovely Monday. Mine was okay, a little hectic, but we made it. I have some coffee tonight because it was also super busy, and I need a little bit of caffeine to get through tonight's project. Okay, so looks like almost our normal group is in. We usually run between like 10, 16. So I'm just giving everybody a second to get on, say hello, and then we'll get started. We'll talk about tonight's bundle. We'll talk about all the free stuff you can get tonight. Carol said she's good. I am okay, Carol. I'm fighting a little bit of a headache that just kind of decided to hit me about an hour ago, but I made some hot coffee and I got to craft a little bit with all of you and have some fun, and then I'm done for the night. So, hi, Pam. How are you doing? So good to see you. Hello, Annie. Okay, let's talk about tonight's bundle. So I am so super excited. Usually we do a product bundle that is older products that have been released for a little while, and I play with those and we talk about different ways to use them. So tonight's bundle is new products. Well, almost all new products. So these are all products that were just released March 1st. Because this bundle tonight is all new products, it doesn't get as big a discount as we usually have on our bundles, but they're still all bundled together for you. And you can see them down in the description box. There's a link just right to the store, and then there's a link to the bundle for tonight. But it is March, which means it is Monroe Madness. So in addition to getting a discount on the bundle, you can earn some free things with the with Monroe Madness, and then you can also earn this stamp for free. So this stamp should pop into your cart and be free with a purchase of a bundle tonight. Super cute. How cute. So there is the bundle, Monroe Madness, free stamp set, all the good things. I think it is the weather, Carol. I am very, I'm a little, what's the word? Susceptible, sensitive to the barometric pressure and when it gets hot and cold and, goes up and down and can't decide what it's doing. So I think that you are right. And I think that is why I'm having a headache. Pam, this set, it's so cute. We're going to talk about it. So tonight's bundle, we're going to work with the brand new layered zigzag stencil, which creates the coolest like chevron pattern. I'm going to show you how to use it start to finish. We have the Bunny Friends stamp set and the die, both of which are included in the bundle. We also have the coordinating chipboard, which we're going to play with, and we're going to talk about, we're going to use it one way, but we're going to also talk about some different ways we can use it. So these are the chipboards that coordinate with the stamp set. So you get the stamp, the die, and the coordinating chipboard. You get Spring Floral Paper Collection. This is one of the brand new pattern paper kits. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love, love, love it. And then we're also in the bundle is a purple chroma glaze, alabaster pigment ink, and some Perfect Blend alcohol marker cardstock. So that's where we're going to start for today. We're going to start with our Perfect Blend cardstock, and I'm going to cut. Hi, Penny. Yay, Penny's here. Penny's awesome. She's the bestest. She's the bestest. She makes me so happy. She's such a good little life helper. I know, right, Susan? I am so excited for new spring stuff too. Okay, so what I'm going to do for this Perfect Blend paper is I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut quite a large section of it. You could cut a little smaller, but you'll see in a minute why it's best to just keep this nice and pretty big. So I'm going to cut this at 8 by 8. So a nice square of 8 by 8. Oh, hello, Christy. Welcome, welcome. So happy to have you join us tonight. We are a lovely bunch over here. Absolutely lovely. You'll have fun. So this is the Perfect Blend cardstock, and I cut it to 8 by 8. And then we're going to talk about and use the zigzag stencil. So this is a larger layered stencil set. So it has 4 layers. These are not marked, and you can basically kind of use them you're pretty open in how you can use them. I personally think there's no number 1 or number 2 etched on it anywhere, but I think the best way is to match up these there's like a little registry mark in the upper left-hand corner and the bottom right-hand corner, and that's my way of kind of keeping everything lined up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my stencil in the upper left-hand corner of that 8 by 8 panel. And we're not going to use all of this. A lot of this panel is cut like this just to keep everything nice and steady and straight and all that fun stuff. Then I'm going to take a pen and I'm going to make a little square. So there are these little registration marks that are cut into each stencil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pen and I'm just going to go ahead and mark in those registration marks. And so I have a couple of ink colors from my stash. Whatever colored ink that you have in your stash will work for this. And I have a brush, a blending brush. I have a mix of Gina K and Picket Fence blending brushes because I like these nice big ones for these larger stencils. But whatever you have, you could use whatever you enjoy using for blending. And then I'm just going to do each of the layers. So we're going to do the first in pink. This stencil, you just saw me kind of wiggle it off. This is a very intricate style of stencil, right? So this isn't one you want to use a Creative Confections on. Um, and you want to kind of take your time. And even though I have the repositionable tape here, like you just saw it shift a little bit, you have to still kind of hold it down. You're probably going to get ink on your fingers, but trust me, it's totally worth it at the end. You could, if you have pixie spray, if you use pixie spray, I would imagine this is the type of stencil that pixie spray is made for. Yes, Pam, those are the only colored inks I use. This is just my colored ink that I have here, but whatever you have in your stash, whatever is like your favorite pink, and you see it's still going to do that. Maybe we take a little bit. It's because I'm trying to be fast. When I did like the example for this card, I was really nice and slow, and I didn't have that problem, but very fast, trying to be fast. Because I know that watching people like continually ink these big panels is a little bit like paint drying. So we're just going to do our best here. But I wanted to show you how to do the different layers. So and by having this larger sized piece of paper, I gave myself a lot of room to go off the edges. And I gave myself a lot of space to be able to kind of have these nice, lots of space to ink blend. I wasn't stingy with the paper. Okay. So here's our first layer. And then I have my little stencil tray right up here, as always. And we're just going to drop it right in there. And we're going to reuse this. So I matched my ink colors up to the colors in that appeared a number of times in the pattern papers. So the next one is like a golden yellow color. And so the next layer, I'm just going to go ahead and find those registration marks that I marked with the pen. I'm going to line them up. Exactly where they should be. Hold on a second. Don't do what I just did. Yep, there we go. That's much better. So you want to line them up, and they're easy to line up. It's just chevron. So like in that case where I had the stencil flipped around. So it was still matching the registration marks, but it wasn't matching my chevron. So it is important to keep an eye on the pattern. There we go. And just make sure it lines up. And you'll know immediately if you don't have it lined up right, you'll be able to tell right away that the chevrons aren't matching up. That's a good idea. Yeah, there's lots of different ways that people do it. The reason I do it this way is because I'm left-handed, and when I ink blend like this, I want the ability to turn my paper because I tend to do that. I tend to turn it this way and turn it up. And if I tape it to like a work surface, then it's kind of stuck where it is. But so I find it easier for me to tape it to a larger piece of paper. And then I have that movability because I know that I like to be able to move it. But whatever um, is the most comfortable for you. That's my advice for stenciling or ink blending through a stencil. Whatever is most comfortable for you and gives you the look you want. Yeah, being left-handed is different. It's different for everything. My husband has started sending me these YouTube videos. He sent me one, right? Like he sent me one video about um cool stuff about left-handed people. What makes left-handed people different or interesting or something like that. And I watched it, and now YouTube thinks that's all I want to see. So I go to my homepage, and it's every YouTube video ever published about left-handed people. And it kind of makes me laugh because I don't need someone to tell me what makes it different. I live it. But a lot of them are accurate. I mean, I'm not saying they're not accurate, just I know. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and ink this up. So one of the colors I really wanted to include in my zigzags tonight, and that is included in the flower, spring floral papers, is there is this gorgeous, like deep chocolate brown color in all of the patterns, which is so unexpected, right? It's like you've got these yellows and these pretty pinks and a little like pinky red color. And then this like deep dark chocolate brown, which I love. So I knew when I was choosing ink colors that I wanted um that deep dark chocolate color to be a part of tonight's the zigzag that I was doing. So that's the next one we're going to do. And again, I'm matching it up two ways. I'm making sure that the squares, the pen marks I made on the squares are right there. And I'm also then taking a look to make sure that the chevron pattern, the zigzag pattern is there. And it's very, very easy either one of those ways, whether you do it with the pen registration marks or whether you do it by eye and you just match it up. Very, very easy to line up. This is a very user-friendly stencil. So now we're going to do the deep dark chocolate brown. And then our next layer, our last stencil, is going to be something unexpected. Yes, Pam. Yes, it does. Thank you. Does make me unique. Very true. So how is everyone doing tonight? Has anyone gotten the spring weather started in their neck of the woods? I know where I am. We're starting to get the spring weather, but I'm not commenting on it because I don't want to scare it away. It's supposed to be like I think Wednesday it's supposed to be almost 70. But I'm in for those of you that don't know, I'm in Pennsylvania. I only probably an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how fast I drive, to the British Monroe shop. So I'm a local girl. And if you live in Pennsylvania, or if you've ever lived in Pennsylvania for any length of time, it's really not spring till May 15th because you'll get these days like we're going to have on Wednesday where it's going to supposed to be like 70 and it's beautiful and spring's here. No, trust me on this. There will be more snow. I always tell my kids when it's warm, and my friends too, people start commenting, "Oh, it's spring, look at all the warm weather." I'm like, "Shh, don't mention it. It'll scare it away." I have lived in Pennsylvania my whole life, and never once have we had a year where we got that nice warm weather in like March or April, and then it didn't go away and we didn't get snow. So this is this deep, dark chocolate brown. So in your ink stash, whatever kind of deep, dark chocolate brown color you have, this is the one that's going to make my fingers super messy. So I have baby wipes at the ready just to wash my fingers off of. Because there's no way around it. This one's going to get messy. So I chose in our bundle tonight, we have Perfect Blend cardstock, which is really for kind of designed to be used with alcohol markers. But as the name suggests, it is amazing for ink blending. Amazing. It takes the ink very, very well. Too. Ta-da! Okay. So I'm gonna pop that into the water and my stencil cleaner. And look at just look at how amazing that brown is. That brown just pops all the other colors up. So for the last layer of the stencil, we are going to switch it up. We're not going to use a fourth ink color. We are going to use our purple chroma glaze for the last layer of the stencil, which is going to give our stencil a little bit of dimension, a little bit of something different. And this is a chroma glaze. So it's not it's going to kind of, you'll be able to see the cardstock behind it. It's not opaque. It is more, a little bit more translucent, glassy kind of finish to it. So we'll have, we're going to have our last chevron we're going to put with the purple chroma glaze, which is going to add another layer of color and interest to our finished card, because there is like a purpley pink color in like one of the patterns in the spring floral, and that's the pattern we're going to use because I really wanted to add purple. Oh, Pam, you're pretty close to me then. Well, I'm in Western Pennsylvania, so, but same kind of type of weather, I'm sure. I was actually, I have lived in most of the different sections of Pennsylvania. So I was born and I was born in Reading, and then I lived in the suburbs outside of Reading until I was 12. And then we moved up near the Poconos and like Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area. And I lived there until I got married at 19. And then when I got married at 19, I came to Pittsburgh or this area. So I've lived in just from one end of Pennsylvania to the next. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Penny. So Penny pointed out in the description box the link both to the bundle and to the Brutus Monroe shop. Those links are affiliate links. If you've never used an affiliate link before, all that means is that when you use that link, it doesn't cost you any more to shop, but I earn a small commission off of your purchase, and it tells Christopher and Heather and everyone at Brutus Monroe that you like my live and that you found these products and placed an order through because of my live. And that's super helpful to me and to Brutus Monroe. So if you can use those links, I would greatly, hugely appreciate it. There's also like a discount code that you can use, but it only works for certain things. And I don't think you can't double dip. So with all of the regular sales and specials on the website tonight, with the bundle and all that, those are better deals to use the link than the code. So I'm just putting some of this beautiful purple chroma glaze through the last stencil. I'm kind of taking my time now. I'm being very careful because the chroma glaze will pick up. If I get it off the edges and get it into the brown ink, it will pick up some of that ink and transfer it into the purple glaze, which we don't want. So I'm trying very, very hard to stay away from the edges and to just get the glaze into the stencil and into the chevron pattern. And we'll pop that in there. Oh, hi, Sweta. She said yeah, that's where you go to ski. Although now that I live down here, I live near Seven Springs. So we go there to ski and snow tube and all that stuff. But the Poconos is amazing too. Final layer. And there is our finished panel. I'm going to pop my last stencil in here and then I'll bring this up to the camera to show you. Look how pretty. I just love how these colors work together. I just think they're gorgeous. So pretty. So we're going to set this aside to dry. And then, of course, by the magic of TV, I have a finished one already dried to show you. So I've already cut this down, but you can see here when you trim away that extra paper. Let me see if I can see how, there we go. So you can see how it dries, and you still get all of that gorgeous contrast. It's so pretty. And I kept all the scraps from cutting it down. So let's get started on our card. For tonight's card base, I made my own from the Perfect Blend cardstock. You could go ahead and however you would like. But we cut that 8x8 sheet of paper that we stenciled on. And so there's no sense in us wasting it. I'm thinking, hold on a second. Where did I put that? Well, here's one thing we need. There we go. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and make our own card base tonight using the Perfect Blend paper, which works really well. Another thing I wanted to show you, I did this as an example piece, something else you can do with the stencil. So for this one, we used all 4 colors, right? We used all 4 of the stencils in the pack, but you can, here's one that I did where I just used 2 of the layers of the stencil, and see how they don't match up? So what I did was I did one this way, the right way, and then the second layer of the stencil, I flipped the stencil over and offset it. So you can do, and I only used 2 of the 4, so you can get lots of fun and kind of funky panels and designs from that zigzag stencil. It doesn't always have to look like this, but with different colors. It doesn't always have to be using all 4 of them. You can use 1 or 2, and you can also flip the stencil over and kind of offset it, so you're getting something that's a little bit funky instead of just always the lined up chevrons. So I'm just going to take an 8.5 piece of white Perfect Blend cardstock, and we're going to use it to make our card panel. Then I'm going to use my Teflon bone folder just to get a nice even crease. I like to be able to use the products in the bundle as much as possible for all of you, so that if you're new to card making, if you're just starting out, you can buy one bundle and you know you have what you need to make a card. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab that piece of paper, and as I do this, let me just kind of go through some of the other papers that are in the collection because they're beautiful. This was the one I chose as my inspiration for the colors that I used on the panel. So I'm just going to set that aside because we're going to use that panel. We're going to use that piece. And then you get 4 of each designs. So you get 24 sheets. And these papers are absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful papers. They're so pretty. If you are a scrapbooker, these papers are amazing. I am so excited. I always get so excited when we get things from British Monroe, and I'm like, oh, that's perfect for scrapbooking, because, you know, scrapbooking is kind of like my first love. But this one I think is a perfect pad for scrapbooking as well as card making. So I'm going to start by cutting this paper down to 4 by 5 1/4. And this little piece right here that you saw me come off the edge, save that. Now, you will at this point have a large 8 by 8 paper with the mixed media once it dries. And what you want to do is you want to cut that down. I'm just triple checking my measurements here because I am not good at math. You want to cut that down to 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. So you're going to have something then that looks like this with your white card base. Okay. So let's get those in place. I'm using my tape runner tonight. I was scrapbooking with friends over the weekend, and I haven't gotten to unpack all of my stuff yet. And my glue that I usually use is still missing in action, but that's okay. So we're just going to center this right in the middle with an even border. Okay. And then we have this piece here, and we're going to go ahead, and this piece goes right across the middle. And because we cut it from this larger piece, we will be able to, it will span exactly all the way across, just like we want it to. Because it's from the same piece of paper. Now we're going to save this because we're going to use this again. We're going to set everything aside, and we're going to talk about chipboard. So I will tell you that chipboard was my least favorite type of material for, well, up until when did Christopher release the chipboard? It was in the fall, I think. Yes, because we had fall chipboard. So I think it was in the fall. So before he released the chipboard, if you had asked me to work with chipboard, I would have turned green and made faces at you. Not even kidding you a little bit. But when Christopher announced the chipboard, I was on the live and he's like, try it. Because I was like, no. And he's like, try it. You'll love it. I promise. And he was right. So now I trust him immensely. So what can we do with these Bunny Friends Companions? What are they? So this is chipboard, this nice thin Brutus Monroe chipboard. And basically what it is it is our stamp set, kind of die cut into the chipboard. And it makes a blank. So we have the shape of the bunnies. You can just pop the bunny right out. And then he matches up with one of the bunnies on the stamp, right? Okay. So that's what the blanks are. What can we do with them? So one of the things you can do with them is you can stamp your bunny onto some white paper. You can then die cut your bunnies in your die cut machine. Color them up like you would, and then adhere that stamped colored bunny onto the chipboard with some glue, and then you have a lovely dimensional little butterfly bunny. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is you can treat it almost like a craft cardstock. You can stamp your bunny in black, and then you can color him with whatever markers you like. I would suggest with that before you start that process, take some of this extra and do some color swatching to see if you like it, to see if it's something that you enjoy. Because this particular chipboard companion has one for each bunny, just one for each bunny. So just know that those are a couple options. You can also heat emboss them. So you can stamp them with the embossing powder, and you can then, or stamp them with embossing ink and then heat emboss on top of them. They're so sweet. Yes. Hi, Noelle. It's okay that you're late. No worries. I missed a ton of comments. I'm just going back through real quick to make sure that there are no questions I need to answer. Hello, Heather. So lovely to have you join us. Hello, Luann. So nice to see you. I agree, Susan. The chroma glaze makes a huge difference with that stencil. It just elevates it to it's lovely. Heather is telling everyone about the make and take at 5 p.m. at Brutus Monroe on Tuesday. Everyone's talking about being there. Yay! Yes. Penny said he did the chipboard at Halloween. That's when he released it. Yeah. And then we had the Hello Fall and the pumpkins and all of that. So hi, Nikki. Hello, Noelle. So nice to see you. So tonight's project, we are going to stamp our bunnies with pigment ink, and it's going to make them look like cookies. These bunnies look like white frosted bunny cookies. Now, that being said, we have to do a stampectomy because all of the bunnies are one stamp. All of the dies are one stamp. So you can mass produce these. You can stamp them once, cut them out, have 9 bunnies. But if you only want one, we're going to have to cut the stamp up, which is totally fine. And you can do, if I can find my scissors, because that's a problem. Okay, 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. I have to find my scissors. Here we go. Okay. Hi, Shalana. So, just turn away. I should also point out that there will be a lot of me cutting stamps this month. I think I was working on all of the bundles and sketching ideas for my bundles for the rest of March, and there will be quite a few times this month where I'm cutting up the stamp sets. So I'm sorry. I apologize. Yes, absolutely cut them apart. So cutting your stamps apart does not harm them, hurt them, or otherwise. You certainly don't have to cut them apart. But for tonight's technique and the fact that I wanted to use the chipboard and the chipboard blanks, and each bunny is separated on the companions, it just was easier without making too much of a mess to go ahead and cut each of the bunnies apart. So I have my little chipboard blank here. I'm just going to stick it down. And then I have my, so last week I had my stick and stamp mat. I used my stick and stamp mat, and then my stick and stamp mat grew legs and walked away. So we don't have it tonight, but if you have one, this is one of those perfect opportunities, moment to use one. And I do have one, and it is somewhere. But I'm telling you, it grew legs and it walked away. So we're going to have to do this old school. All right. So we're going to line the stamp up over the chipboard companion. Perfect. And then we're going to stamp it with the Brutus Monroe Alabaster White pigment ink. You know what? You guys. Oh. I'm with Shalana. I always cut stamps, especially the long sentiments. Penny said she'd be masking. Well, you know, that's okay. You can do that too. That is another option. You could mask them. And it would probably be totally fine. You could just take this, you know, you'd be good. So I am inking up my stamp set pretty heavily. So I'm getting a really good amount of ink on here. And I'm going to take advantage of my Misty and all of its wonderfulness. And I am going to stamp this bunny 3 times. So we're going to get a good amount of ink on the stamp. And then we're going to stamp the bunny 3 times. I found when I was practicing that 3 was the perfect amount of bunny stamping to get a really bright white, beautiful bunny cookie. So 3 times. Next thing to know, this is not going to dry quickly. It's going to dry pretty slowly. So you want to give it some time because you want that pigment ink to dry really nicely on the chipboard. And when you have completely dried your bunnies, you have cute little bunny cookies that look like this. So we're going to do 3 bunny cookies on our bunnies tonight. So my advice is that if you're going to order the stamp set, you've got your pigment ink, grab more than 1 set of the chipboard companions. Heather, you know, Heather says when you do the paper pads, buy 3. I say if you're doing the bunny companions, the little chipboard companions, maybe get 4 so that you have them, because there's only 9 on a pack. So it's just one bunny per one each of the bunnies. So, and you might, I would say with a great deal of certainty that once you start playing with these little chipboards and putting, stamping them in black and coloring them, stamping them and embossing them, making little bunny cookies like we did here, you're going to want more. It's just that simple because they are that good. So there is our 3 little bunny cookies for tonight. And that's what they look like. As soon as I did it, I'm like, oh, they're like bunny cookies, right? They're adorable. These would also make absolutely adorable embellishments for scrapbook pages. Little bunny cookies. Absolutely. Yes. They're so cute. So we're going to put our little bunny cookies all the way across here on our little bunny. And these are fully dry. So that's the biggest thing. These take a long time to dry. So give yourself, lots of time so you have fully dried and you don't smear the pigment ink. So we're going to center our little bunny cookies on that extra piece of pattern paper that we put across the middle. And I did the one on the right and the one on the left so I could center our 3rd bunny right into the middle. You could also push them all together, make them really close if you want. In fact, I'll show you how it looks like that too, or maybe not. Nope, that's where they're staying tonight. Okay. So either way. For a sentiment, the bunny stamp comes with this one that says Happy Spring from all of us, which I think is adorable and perfect. And then remember when we cut this down and I said save all your scraps because we're going to use this one now too. So from the last little scrap from this pattern paper, we're just going to cut a 1/2-inch strip. So this is going to be 1/2 inch by 5.5. How are we doing on time? Yay! Just checking. I hate to keep you guys longer than an hour. So just move this side. Grab our Misty, and we're just going to grab some Raven ink. Raven Detail ink. We're going to dress up the inside of our card just a little bit because we have on the front of this card, we have all of this pattern, right? We've got lots of pattern. We have lots of color. And I feel like if we tried to add more to the front of the card, it would start to look too crowded, too clustered. I love the bunnies for this because they are just craft and white. And so they kind of bring a little bit of the more patterned chaos that's going on up there. They bring it down a little bit. They pull it all together. But on the inside, so on the inside of the card, we're just going to add that 1/2-inch strip right there, just along the edge. So we can dress up our cards inside too. And we can open our card all the way and add our sentiment inside. And because we're putting it on the inside, we can stamp it with this bold black ink. And we have lots of space to write. And the sentiment isn't going to get lost because it could easily get all lost on the front of this card. So this is a really great type of card where your sentiment on the inside works the best. I just re-inked my black ink. So I'm being really light with it, and I'm going to stamp it a couple of times because I know it's like really juicy, and I don't want to smudge it. Smudging is bad. And you guys are, I'm so glad you guys are all having such a good time tonight. There we go. Wrong ink. I was so afraid that was going to happen. It's okay. Okay. I caught myself before I did any damage. It's all right. Okay, so there's our sentiment, nice and crisp. I love how this sentiment is, you can see it here, how the from all of us kind of goes up into the happy spring. I think that that's adorable. Such just a really cool detail. And there is tonight's project. I will post beautiful, well-lit photos tomorrow in the group, and I'll post some outside and some inside photos. So there is our card project for tonight. I know. Noelle's like, that was close. It really was. I kind of went. I really did. No, I wasn't. I wasn't showing you a doing technique. That was me because I had both of the 2x2. They're both right here, right? And they're both 2x2, and they both look almost exactly the same. And I came this close to kind of ruining my pigment ink pad. So let's just. And I've made you all. I've like jump scared you all because first I'm cutting apart stamps, and then I'm mixing up my alabaster, my Raven ink pad. Heather says now I want some ginger snaps, right? I'm telling you, they look like cookies. They're so cute. They're so cute. I love them. All right. I hope you've all had a wonderful evening tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll give you a second or two to say goodbye. Yes, I've done it too. Pink icing. Well, we need some. Sarah needs a nap. Sarah needs to go to bed. Forget a nap. I did wake you up. I don't need a nap. I need a bed. Good night, everyone. I will talk to you all again very soon. I'm so glad you had fun and had a good time. Bye.